President Donald Trump has announced his Supreme Court pick. His name is Brett Kavanaugh. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I guess you guys can correct me. But anyways, he has picked Brett Kavanaugh. Now, he has quite the history. He is somebody who was actually worked for Kenneth Starr, who was the guy who was investigating Bill Clinton. I think that was the whole Whitewater shit or whatever it was. But he was like some of his reports that he made either like suggested or led to the charges or the impeachment charges that were made, the articles of impeachment that were made against Bill Clinton to have him impeached, which of course were, perjury, lying under oath about fucking, which is an insane thing to possibly impeach a fucking president over. Are you serious? Lying about getting a blowjob under his desk while taking a phone call is the reason why you're going to remove a president from office. What? That makes no fucking sense. It's like, okay, I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to digress here. But here's something crazy, okay? This is what's crazy. So, this tweet comes from Jim Acosta. He says, Trump's SCOTUS team has looked at Kavanaugh's past comments on indicting a sitting president. We've confirmed. In 2009, Kavanaugh wrote, the indictment and trial of a sitting president, moreover, would cripple the federal government. So yes. So what this means is that, as you guys know, obviously with the Mueller investigation that's going on and all the different stuff that we're seeing with, the conversations about whether or not, you can indict a sitting president criminally or civilly when it comes to those issues. So there's all of those kinds of debates going on, especially with this Mueller investigation that's going on. What you're talking about is you pick a Supreme Court justice who you know is going to be against indicting you, who you know is going to be against criminally or civilly indicting you as a president. So that's really fucking shady, because now you're talking about not someone who you really think is going to uphold the Constitution, but you're just talking about someone who's going to be the fall man for you, who's going to cover for your sorry ass when it comes time for you to be really under scrutiny and underwater. But it's really crazy. But there's also something else that's really shady. Something crazy is that the Koch brothers are actually really big, and were really big in trying to get this guy. There's a guy that I follow on Twitter. His name is Geoff. He actually talked about this, how he was hearing that there were conversations between Trump and, this guy. And apparently, because Brett is one of the clerks. He was one of the clerks for departing Supreme Court Justice Kennedy. He was a clerk of his at one point. I forget when it was, but he was a clerk of his at one point. And so there are reports that he was only down to resign because he knew that one of his clerks would be taking his spot. And these kinds of communications are really shady, man. There's something really shady going on. We know that there are connections between the kids of Donald Trump and the kids of Justice Kennedy, and there's also literal direct ties between the kid Justin Kennedy, who's the kid of Justice Kennedy, of the ties between him and Donald Trump, because he was a banker at Deutsche Bank, and Deutsche Bank was the only bank that would do business with Trump, and Trump called him like his favorite banker or some shit. And when you saw the conversation between Justice Kennedy and Trump, he was like, say hello to your boy for me, he's a special guy and stuff like that. Really fucking shady shit. If there's a swamp, if there was ever a swamp, this is it. This is the swamp. This is some of the shadiest shit I've ever seen. Especially with the Supreme Court, we need serious amounts of scrutiny when it comes to this, because the Supreme Court can shoot down whatever the fuck they want, and that's really crazy. So you're talking about now we're in danger of Roe v. Wade being overturned, and a bunch of different stuff. He's a conservative guy. He also was, I think, a dissenter of upholding Obamacare in one of the cases in which he was a judge on. So this is really dangerous. It's very unfortunate, but it's just so shady, man. So shady.